I was someone who did not think Kyle Whittingham would be coaching in 2025. I thought it was last year was going to be his last year. It's actually been documented it was supposed to be, but he didn't like the way it went. He got that fire back. And Dawson, when I watch him on the sideline, that fire still burns bright too. Like he is still locked in. I give him
Mhm.
so much credit for being able to adapt and adjust to the current landscape of college football. Was last year great? Yeah, he struggled with his quarterback development, but even in a bad year, a down year, it never got as bad as what happened with Oklahoma State last year, where they didn't win a single game in Big 12 play. You know, you people love to clown Utah because they only won 2 Big 12 games. They really run 3 because they beat Baylor also, but no one ever brings that one up. But down here, you still won 3 conference games, and Utah, and he's retooled Utah where they're back right away. If Utah was where Mike Gundy, where Oklahoma State was with Mike Gundy, right? Like they would have been the ones to go on the road and get blown out by West Virginia. It's still
Mhm.
hard to win on the road in college football, but Utah does what they do, even against bad teams. They blow them out and they remain so consistent. And I think Kyle Whittingham's willingness to say, hey, I'll embrace the transfer portal a little bit more. He's talked about going a little softer. Today's athletes are different. You have to handle them differently. And I think Whit has done a good job adapting and adjusting. And because he's done that, Dawson, he doesn't have to go through what Mike Gundy's currently going through right now, that being he's unemployed.
Yeah, that's just who Witt is. He's gonna find a way no matter what, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
he's always done. He's been the coach since I was freaking born. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, over 170 career wins. He's just a great mentor. He's a great person. I've had the opportunity to talk to him a little bit. Actually, I asked my first question at the
Very good.
scrum against Texas Tech to him. So that was huge. And then I think he sets the expectations for other coaches in the Big 12 now. I mean, he's the guy to look up to now that Gundy's gone, and he's just great. And um, of course, Scally has been waiting, but I just want to live up whatever time we have left of Wit. So.
Yeah, we're waiting on eventually there'll be a statue out there for him, but I just think it's so cool. He's still going and he is still contending. I talked about this on yesterday's show. Like if you want to say, hey, I want to see Utah beat a Big 12 contender before I call them a contender, I'm fine with that, man. But they've just done when you're a good team, you should go out and blow out bad teams. That's how I see it. Utah's avoided what's happened with Kansas, where they lose to a Cincinnati. And maybe Cincinnati's a little better than I thought, but if Kansas is a contender, I feel like they should win that game. Right. I look at a Houston. Like, yes, Houston's 4-0, but they barely squeaked by a very bad Oregon State team, which Texas Tech did clobber. And we're really being honest about how close that Utah Texas Tech game was. It was a 10-3. It was a 10-3 game for the majority of it. And even the one touchdown Tech scored, right? They hit that one big play. Like Utah
Yeah.
played Tech right there. Utah is still a contending team. You know who's not a contending team? And even if they were in the Big 12, I don't think they would be. It's Iowa. Like Kirk Ferentz is the longest tenured coach in the sport. The Cyclones have kind of fallen to the wayside. No one considers them a Big 12, a Big 10 contender. Oklahoma State had fallen away from being a contender. Kyle Whittingham has kept Utah as a contender, and his blend of you will become us, we won't become you, as well as adapting and adjusting has been impressive too. And you know, he's talked about potentially retiring with Morgan Scalley being the head coach and waiting, but if he wasn't talking about that, and yes, a little bit of a down year last year, but Dawson, he feels like he could still go a little bit longer. We don't know how long he wants to go, but in a lot of ways, he hasn't shown signs of slowing down, right?
No, I don't think so. And even though it was a down year, I don't think he's gonna stop after that. That's just not who he is. I think he's gonna going until the wheels fall off, to be honest. I think he wants to get a big win before he goes out, and I think this is the year for that. So,
I think it is too. And when I think about Witt
mm,
too, the only thing, as I said, the real blemish is he has mismanaged the injuries and the
yeah.
quarterback situation. And like last year, what happened is on Andy Ludwig, Kyle Whittingham, all of them. You did not have a good enough backup quarterback option. You should have been able to win some games. Just because Bryson Barnes transferred to Cam Rising doesn't mean the season should have gone completely down the drain. But outside of that, there's really not much criticism we can offer Kyle Whittingham, because even like the year before that, you don't have Cam for all of it, and you still win 8 games, which was incredible and tremendous
Mhm.
what this Utah team was able to do. We're in the middle of the bye week. Let's do a quick story time. Dawson, I asked Kyle Whittingham a question for the first time ever. You and I both have this in common. We went to Utah, right? So I'll tell
Mhm.
mine in a second, but I don't know for you. What was going through your head the first time you're going to ask this legendary coach a question, and what question did you ask Kyle?
It's been freaking eating at me. I didn't get the opportunity to ask him a question at the Rose Bowl and to
Mhm.
UCLA, and then Cal Poly as well as one question away, and then they ended it. So it's been eating at me. But yeah, once I got down there, I think the nerves went away, and it was kind of just talking ball, to be honest, even though it's the legendary coach up there. And I asked him about Nate Ritchie's performance during the game, the 13 tackles, and who the type of player he is. And he gave me a great answer. And of course, it went on my story. It was awesome.
That's awesome, man. And it is so cool when you finally get the chance to talk to someone like Whit. I'm trying to remember a Whit story. I have another press conference story I'll share in a moment, but I remember too, those moments when you're sitting in those press conferences, like especially you get to know some of these journalists. And for me, I was a student intern in the athletic department. So even the people around passing the mics around, like I used to work for them. So I was totally nervous the first time I was going to ask my questions, like to Coach Whit. Like, some people call him Kyle. I called him Coach because it's like, that's just how I think of him as. I remember a couple of years ago. Yeah, that's what he is.
Yeah.
I remember the first press conference question I ever asked though it was the players come out first. So I was going to ask this to Cam Rising and Dalton Kincaid. And I remember my heart was beating out of my chest before I asked this. And I asked Dalton because it was against Weber State, I want to say, or maybe it was someone else before, but Dalton went with a hurdle. And I just remember I asked him the question and he got a big smile and Cam did, and everyone ended up laughing about it. But it was funny because I just still remember my heart beating out of my chest,
That's
being
awesome.
so nervous. But it's just always cool to, number one, like you and I have both gotten to pursue this career, which is something that's been incredible too. But just, overcoming the anxiety in that moment as well too, of being like, and you look back and you're like, gosh, I'm so glad I asked the question, even though it can be scary knowing you're going to put yourself out there. But that's awesome, man. That's something I can relate to too. You don't forget your first question, right?
No, absolutely not. And then once you do, it's like, what was all that worrying for?
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy how that works.
Oh, it is totally crazy. Like the question I asked you,
Yeah.
I remember they made like a reel out of it, an edit out of it, like Dalton laughing about the question on
Really?
the hurdle. So I still remember that question. I was so nervous to ask and almost didn't ask. I did. And then they ended up making a clip out of it too. So, hey, I don't know if whoever listened to 27 minutes, ask the question, take the lead. That's the advice we could give you on this bye week edition of Locked On Utes. Dawson, such a blast talking ball with you, man. Please let everyone know where they can find you.
Man. Yeah, my X is on the screen, James Dawson 27, and then all my work is on Ute Zone. I'm a staff writer there, so check it out.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on, Dawson.
Thank you, JT.
But first, today's episode of Locked On Utes is brought to you by our friends at Mazda. Mazda crafts cars for those who can do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride, with more IHSS Top Safety Picks awards than anyone else as of August 2025. From footwork to breathwork, athletes sweat all the details. Well, Mazda brings this same intention to how they craft every model. You can make every drive feel like anything but an everyday drive. From the smooth handling to intuitive controls, Mazda has it all. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, moved and be moved. You can check out Mazda's inventory today. That's going to do it for this edition of Locked On Utes. Thank you guys for making us your first listen and view of the day. If you're in the market for a second listen, we got the thing for you because Locked On and Fire TV present College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation alongside two-time AP Coach of the Year, Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Hawley, and Locked On's local expert. A college football preview only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only on Fire TV. That'll do it for our show today. We'll be back tomorrow talking the latest in Utah athletics.